Hello and welcome to another episode of What Do You Call It podcast. I'm your host, GB. Before I reintroduce today's guest, I want to give a shout out to a couple of countries I've been charting in recently. Nigeria, much love to you. Top five. Oh, honestly, absolutely blessed. Canada, France, Latvia. You guys love me over there. So much love to you all. And to everyone else that's listening to the podcast right now, it means so much. So I had to squeeze that in there. Gotta squeeze that in. But thank you all. Thank you. So,
When's the world tour? Latvia,
mate,
Nigeria. You gonna do some live shows?
do you know what I want to
Wow.
speak to? Bob Furio. You know,
You want to speak to him? No,
yeah,
he's gonna cost you.
yeah, mate. He
He's
can
ain't gonna do this for free.
sort it out for me, get some bookings. I will explain that in a minute, if in case you're not too aware. But you are going to probably be familiar with today's guest. You've probably seen him everywhere online in the last year or so. He made his first guest on this podcast about 4 years ago. We discussed how he got into wrestling, his appearance at Barstool Sports, characters, monikers, John Carpenter films, you name it. We discussed it. But a lot's happened since,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're going to be discussing that today. So just before you do that, you can listen to our first chat in the link below. Thank you. You can have a pause or listen to after this episode. Please welcome back the earthquaking, pillar shaking leader of the Meat Pop Express, Big Trouble, Ben Bishop.
Man, it feels like forever, dude. Like the last time that we spoke. I mean, let's talk about a lot has happened. I feel like a grizzled, hardened vet at this point. I was all wide-eyed and bushy-tailed last time we spoke, and now, I mean, judging by the videos that people see now, you can tell how I feel about wrestling.
Oh mate, honestly, it feels like in a way a different person I'm speaking to. Like you've accomplished so much, you've developed such a strong fan base. Even those in the business have gravitated towards you in response to some of your incredible videos.
Oh,
But
thank
just
you.
before I do touch on that, just going back to the first interview in 2021, not long after that, you would actually make your first appearance in AEW,
Mhm.
and you got to make a few more. Even the most memorable one, not too long ago, it was an appearance on AEW Rampage against Roderick Strong. I can't do it as well as you,
That's
but
it.
just tell me about your overall experience in AEW.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately for me, I had the opportunity. The Roderick Strong one was definitely the most popular. But I want to give a shout out to Bear Bronson and Preston Vance as well.
Mhm.
I was very fortunate the three times that I was able to work matches at AEW. I had three great guys to work against. So shout out to all those three. I've had nothing but positive experiences there. Locker room's great. The people are great, all the way down, like producers, everybody I've interacted with. Nothing bad to say about them at all. And that's not just me being political. I'm just being honest. Like I really haven't. Everybody's been really cool. It's really cool, laid back. And everyone really makes you feel comfortable there. But the last time that was definitely the cherry on
Ratings
top of
may have gone up a little bit with your
that's
appearance.
sure they did. That's the thing. A lot of people don't like me saying that, but they did. That's just a fact. The ratings did. It went up. Numbers don't lie, GB, right? I mean, that's many people lie. Many
Yeah.
people lie, but numbers don't. So the numbers they went up 10% in the viewers. It was the second highest Rampage rating of 2024. I mean, I'm not bragging, but kind of am. And it was an awesome experience because I found out I was working against Roderick Strong. Obviously, I think the world of the guy. He's been everywhere. One of the best overall professional wrestlers over the past 20 years. Has
Mm.
worked with almost everyone, right? So when I got that opportunity, was really psyched. When I found out it was only 2 minutes, I was like, "What the hell are we gonna do?" And here's the thing, man. It was what it was. I was an enhancement talent, even though I'm double his size.
You still got
But
to be in the
it's
spotlight though.
it's all good. It's all good, man. You got to take those opportunities where you get them. So, we had our match, and the only thing I could have done is I was just like, I got to make the most of this. I easily could have just said like, oh, yep, here I am on Rampage. Here's the match graphic. Here's a few action shots. I actually didn't even get a match graphic. All I got is a Roderick Strong in action. And they didn't even put me on the graphic. It's okay. I made the most of it. But I wasn't just gonna be like, hey, here's some action shots, here's this, here's that, right? Like, and people do that, and that's fine. But I was just like, I don't want to do that. I want to make the most of this. So I knew I was like, the only time that camera was going to be on me for guaranteed time was when they announced my name. And that was the only time I knew. So I was like, I got to come up with something. I didn't want to do like the hulking or like the slit the throat or like, stuff like
You
that.
know,
Or
I'm
I'm
gonna
like,
I'm gonna touch that, by the way, the hulking. I'm gonna touch on that in
yeah.
a minute about
Okay.
you doing
Yes.
some hulking, but I'll let you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We can talk about that. Strictly 80s Hogan, sir. But so I could have done any of that stuff, the hand of the like that, whatever, and been like everybody else. Or I could have just come up with something goofy as shit. So I came up with the thumb point. I know I always do this. Um, so I did the thing where I just turned to the hard cam and went like that, and I didn't think much of it at the time. But when I
Yeah,
got to the back, after the match happened, and it was what it was. It was fun, and Roderick was great afterward, and thanked me and all that. But when I got to the back, I'm good buddies with Jameson Ryan, and he was like, dude, I don't know like what you were thinking with the thumb. I'm like, why was it bad? He's like, no, it was great. Everybody popped. It was awesome. Like, it was
yeah,
just like it's like you hit the timing was right, the camera was on you, like it was perfect. I'm like, all right, great. So, I saw the match back and I'm like, oh man, this is funny. Like this is
yeah.
pretty goofy. So immediately I made that meme. Like I made I cut it, I made the meme of that. And then I knew since it was Rampage, I'm like, I got a whole week, right? I have a whole week to promote this, right? And make it seem like the biggest deal. So I'm like, I'm gonna make a thing where I'm like, here's my redemption story from being beat twice in AEW, biggest match in Rampage history, biggest debut in Rampage
Yeah.
history. I had the idea about the My Sacrifice video that I would do after it, the idea of watching with my wife on the couch.
Oh, that video's
Um,
brilliant, by the way. That's great. I'm watching it.
so so like that was kind of my plan with it, right? And just see kind of where it goes.
Mhm.
And I'm like, either everyone could think I'm a huge moron, which I mean I kind of am, but everyone could just think I'm a big idiot and not get along with the joke and just like this guy sucks. Or people would laugh at it. Fortunately, more people laughed at it than saying this guy sucks. But people said this guy sucks, but that's okay. They still do. But it got over. It got
Yeah.
over. The thumb point got over. The videos got over. People started noticing, and almost not even a year yet, about 9 months later, here we are. I've never had
Still
more
discussing it.
bookings.
Yeah.
I've never had more opportunities given to me because of these videos. And so many people I'll get a lot of the trolls, GB. They'll say this all the
Mhm.
time. They'll say, like, are you a content creator or are you a wrestler? And they don't like it because they don't get it and because they haven't come up with it and they can't think of a way to stand out. They want to do the same shit over and over again. That's what insanity is. Do
Yeah.
the same shit, expect different results. And that's all these guys want. That's all these guys that are jealous and upset and don't understand what I'm doing. That's why they're mad. That's why they don't like it. It's
Mhm.
because it's something different and I'm doing things a little bit different and they haven't figured out how to do something a little different yet. So they're just going to say, "Oh, this guy sucks. We don't like him." Right? But at the end of the day, I've gotten more opportunities just based on these silly videos and, making myself stand out in a different way.
But you're not just doing it for yourself as well. You are openly mocking the fans, the legends, promoters, yourself even. Uh,
Oh, mostly it's me. I'm
no
making fun of
one's
me.
safe from your videos.
No. And,
There's
and here's the thing.
one
I,
video
I
goes
poke
out.
I poke fun at the silliness, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not poking fun. Like, and I say to a lot of people, like, I'm guilty of a lot of this stuff that I poke fun at, right? Like taking things a little too serious. Like,
Mhm.
almost that cringe type of comedy where it's like, we know those guys in locker rooms. I'm making fun of the shitty promoters, the guys that, don't pay, the guys that have 5-hour shows. Like I'm
Yeah.
making fun of that stuff. I'm making fun of the wrestlers that come in and act like they're a big hot shot.
Hello there. I've got a special announcement for my next guest.
Hola, I'm Shelly Martinez, and this is Minnie, and I'm going to be the next guest on the What Do You Call It podcast. Tune in.
Yeah, I heard.
But yeah, no, but I'm making fun of like guys have one dark match and they come in like they're a big hot shot in the locker room. Like that type of stuff where it's just like silly and people that just take themselves a little too serious. That's not something we should do. I mean, look what we do, right? You
Mhm.
take the craft of professional wrestling serious, but don't take yourself too serious. Like let's have fun. And most of the boys get it. And they enjoy it because they're like, oh, I've seen that guy before, or I've seen a guy like that before.
Yeah.
And some of them say, hand up, that was me, or I've done that. And it's like, hey, man, you know what? It's cool. We've all done silly shit. I have too. Like I have too, and it's okay. It's okay to laugh at ourselves. And like I said, I'm majority of my videos, I'm making fun of myself.
Mm.
Like I make fun of myself, and my most watched video is me shitting on myself, and my wife making fun of me. So like, it's not something where I'm like, hey, I'm trying to make you look like a piece of shit. Like, but
No.
if you are a piece of shit, then I'm sorry, you are.
Yeah.
But like I'm not trying to make anybody feel like bad about themselves. Really what I'm trying to do is just point out the toxicity in wrestling, like other videos I put out about the guys who are way too horned up for the girls and the guys who like they want to champion women's wrestling, but we all know the ulterior motive some of these guys have. And I'll make fun of that stuff. And it's again a lot of people have reached out to me and said things like oh, this is your videos have actually helped me for the start of my training because now I'm like looking out for things that are like carny,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Like the carniness of it. So yeah, no, it's just it's all in good fun. Again, like I'm the one, like nobody makes fun of me more than me. Like, I'm the first one. I come from a athletic background where we would all make fun of each other. Like, and
Mhm.
no one took it too serious. Nobody, guys every now and then would get into it. But, at the end of the day, it's ribbing. We're all ribbing each other. We're having fun. And that's how I like to see it. That's what me and my buddies do. Group chats. We all, every now and then someone gets ganged up on and gets made fun of. It's fun.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, some people can't handle it.
That's the thing, and I have seen sort of that reception. I think overall it's been great, the feedback. But when you're trying to pay your bills with 5-star ratings, there
Pal,
was a bit
I
of a
mean,
flaw with that video.
well, here's the thing. Like, again, and people keep trying to, and somebody said it to me today, because after Will Ospreay's clip went viral talking about paying his house with 5-star matches, I never said match.
Yeah,
If you go back on that, people took it in the wrong context, which again is fine.
definitely.
I
Yeah.
never said match. I said rating. So I said ratings. I think Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega would have made a living no matter what if it wasn't for Dave Meltzer. So I think people attribute Dave Meltzer's rating system to their success, which isn't true. Those guys would have been successful no matter what. They're otherworldly talents. They don't need the validation from one guy in California just giving them some random subjective rating. And I just don't think wrestlers should be judged if they don't get a 5-star rating that they're not a good wrestler or they're not a good sport entertainer, whatever you want to call them. Right? It's a very silly rating system. Again, I respect Dave for what he is as a historian.
Mm.
I don't like the rating system, and that's just my opinion.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. Each to their own. If you want to value what Dave says, what he rates, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I think the rise of AEW has kind of changed him a little bit, and I think Twitter is probably the worst thing to happen to him. But it doesn't change the fact that as a wrestling historian, I do
Oh,
appreciate.
he's amazing. The guy's a savant.
Brilliant.
He is. He is. He's
But
brilliant.
I think he's his own worst enemy at certain
Of
times.
course. Oh yeah, he is. Most of us are. Honestly,
Yeah.
sometimes most of us are our own worst enemy.
No, definitely, mate. But I mean, the videos you've done, they even for me, if I'm having a bad day, sometimes I see some of them and I
Oh,
just find myself laughing, mate. Honestly, that's me switched off a little
well,
bit,
thank you.
and I'm not just saying it 'cause
Thank
you're
you.
here.
And that means more to me than anything. Like I've had a few people say that to me, and I'm just like, I'm just an idiot. Like I just
Yeah.
make these stupid, and I don't think twice. I just do things to make myself laugh at the end of the day. But the fact that like people will watch them and like get joy out of it,
Yeah.
like that's awesome to me. And like if that's what ends up being, my whatever you want to call it, legacy or anything like that, and that's what I get out of wrestling. That means more to me than anything. So I'm happy to hear that. Thank you.
That's right, mate. Are you sure it's not the cage mat ratings or anything?
Yeah, dude. I mean, you know what? When that doofus Air Gold on Twitter, and I'll say his name, the guy sucks, or
Yeah.
guy or girl, I don't know who it is, but I shouldn't assume. But actually, no, I think it is a guy because I heard him talk to Sean Ross Sapp, and he sounds like a huge dork.
Oh God, I heard that
In
clip.
in that space, God, like that was he should never have joined that. It was embarrassing, looked horrible. But yeah, tried to dunk on me and put some cage ratch rating up, and I just was like, I honestly think there was more matches than I thought were on.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's only had 100. It's only had 105 matches. None of them have been rated. I'm like, I'm surprised 105 have made it up to cage match. To be completely honest with you, nobody in wrestling talks about cage match.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks cage match is a joke. The thing that cage match is good for, if you're like, hey, what was the card of Backlash in 2002? You know, like, oh, let's look. Okay, it's up there. Now we can find it pretty easily. I mean, you can use
Mm.
Wikipedia too, but Cage Match is pretty good for that stuff. Old Ring of Honor shows, old, AEW shows. Like, that's good. For indie wrestling, nobody talks about Cage Match. And you saw the tweet that Asuka put up recently, like last week. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I was quite surprised
Nobody
by her to tweet that, by the way.
good. Like,
Oh, I
finally.
loved it though.
And I'm so happy it happened the timing it didn't. So it like indirectly co-signed what I said.
Yeah.
And that's because I'm just like I was trying to tell people, no wrestler cares about this shit. Like we don't go into locker rooms and we're like, oh, hey, dude, I checked out your cage match, and we
Yeah.
don't talk about cage match at all. Cage match is run by like 250 people that rate matches, and they get their rocks off by doing that, and that's fine. Like
Mhm.
if that's what you like to do, and you have a little community by a bunch of you getting together, rating matches, whatever, go ahead and knock
Have
yourself
fun.
go
Knock
ahead and
yourself
knock
out.
yourself out. But I am telling you, not one wrestler goes to another wrestler and asks about their cage match. Like
Yeah.
it's a fan rated thing. Only the fans talk about it, not wrestlers. So if you think that you're dunking on me because I don't have a match rated on cage match, you're not. You're not. I'm blocking that shit into the fourth row, buddy. Like you ain't dunking on me. So there you go.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. I'm kind of glad you said that. Even with some fans I see, I'm just like, cage match does not justify a good or bad match. Even as a fan
No,
or podcaster, what you want to call me, even though I kind of roll my eyes a little bit, I'm like, but yeah, that is what it is.
dude, it's at the end of the day, it's like any rating online. Like it's like it can be like a Yelp, right? Like I
Mhm.
think I honestly I think Yelp has more of a more credence than a cage match does, but it's just anybody can write on it. It's
Yeah.
not like it's not people who are like it's not like an example. It's not like an MVP voting in baseball where you have, writers and you have actual people who follow this all year round.
Yeah.
It's not like the Academy Awards where they are credentialed in rating the movies and giving the awards out. It's not like it's just fans and it's just their opinions. And there's no rubric, there's no criteria, there's nothing. It's just
Mm.
do I like this or do I not like it? And who's the flavor of the month this month that we're going to give a bunch of good ratings to? Who was nice to me in a merch line? Let me give them a good rating on Cage Match. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's a good database to see match cards and all that and whatever. And if you use, but when it comes to like Cage Match ratings, none of us give a shit.
Yeah. It was just like, okay, cool. Yeah, it's there. But
Yeah, it's there.
um, I've got to ask you, because we just mentioned him earlier, 80s Hulk Hogan, by the way, we're going to say. How was it body doubling for the immortal Hulk Hogan, 80s, for the
Dude,
WWE advert?
Dude, that was so cool, man. That was for 2K24. So that was in the end of 2023 that we filmed that. And because I started doing the videos in 2023, and that was actually how they found me. So they
Oh,
found me
wow.
because they saw some of the original videos I was doing, and the cat and the production company thought they were pretty good. And brought me in. So anybody that says, these videos aren't getting you anywhere,
Hey.
GFY, buddy. So yeah, so I got that opportunity. I went out to LA. And it was pretty surreal. I mean, Hogan wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I was sent for like 3 spray tans. I couldn't shower it off the last two, so I was like feeling real gross and sticky the whole time we were doing that shoot. But it was great. I had to do the shirt rip.
Yeah.
About like 15 times, so like and the person who had the camera was actually Cedric Alexander. So he
Oh,
was
wow.
yeah,
Okay,
so he
cool.
was he was the one that was
Yeah.
like the stunt double for the moves and shit. So it was cool to work with him.
Yeah.
There were two other guys that were there that were Undertaker and Stone Cold. I thought the AI was pretty horrible, but it was cool. I like seeing that opening shot of like him walking through the curtain and then the shirt rip. And I actually have the shirt one of the shirts hanging up, if you can see it up there.
Oh, so that's the one
So
that's in the advert.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
well, yeah,
that's
'cause I've
one of
seen
the
that in a
oh
few
one well, at
videos.
least one of them. At least one
Yeah.
of them. I did it 15
Couldn't
times.
keep the other 15.
So yeah, I'm waiting. A lot of times it makes some of my videos that shirts. I'm waiting for
Yeah.
someone to be like, "Oh, he's a big Hulk Hogan support." I'm waiting for that, right? And again, strictly 80s Hogan. I do like 80s
Yeah.
and 90s Hogan. Nowadays he's what
Yeah.
he is. But we're separating Terry Bollea from Hulk Hogan, right? So yeah, so that was a really cool experience. And I don't know when it's coming out, and eventually it will, but I will be in the next commercial as well for 2K25.
Nice, nice.
So
Big
we'll
reveal
see
then. I
that. You'll
love
be
it.
seeing that shit. I'll be in the background. You'll see me. I'm not playing anybody. specifically, but I'm there. I'm there.
Looking forward to it, mate. Looking forward to it. You were actually endorsed by Conrad Thompson, a big influence for me personally. Amazing podcaster.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Gave you the endorsement, and then you end up on Jeff Jarrett's podcast. You even did a little bit of teaming with Double
Oh, it was
J.
great.
Got to tell you, mate, how's that experience? I mean, I've met him as a fan. Honestly, so
Oh man.
charming, isn't he?
Oh yes, he really is. He is a charming guy, man. I see the allure. I understand how he got Karen for sure. But he is a what a guy. What a
Yeah.
guy. I think Jeff is a tremendous human being. Obviously he has seen everything in wrestling, right? I mean, he's been around forever, the territory days up through WCW, WWF, back to WWE for a little bit now in AEW.
That's the thing. He's still a star now. He's still on
Yeah,
TV.
he still is, and he looks great. He looks phenomenal. He guy's
He looks
57
great.
years
He's in
old. He
great
looks
shape.
phenomenal. So, that all just happened because I was at AEW. I was just walking through the halls,
Mhm.
and Jeff went over to one of the other producers, Kevin Matthews, and I was like, "Who the hell's that?" And he goes, "Oh, that's Ben." And he's like, "I don't know who Ben." Who's okay? He's like, "Who's Ben?" He's like, "Oh, you haven't seen Ben's videos." He goes, "I haven't seen any of Ben's videos." So he started showing me some of them, and
Yeah.
Jeff got a big kick out of it. So Jeff really loved like the Bob Furio character. He loved every bit of it. So we just stayed in contact, and I reached out to him afterward, and just for some advice, and he's been great. We stay in touch every now and then. Last time I saw him, when was the last time? Oh yeah, I saw him at Top. Oh, and I didn't see him that day. I did not see him, but I've kept in touch with him. But I saw Conrad at the Top Guy Rumble,
Hmm.
and saw and got to actually tag with Lash LaRue, which was really cool.
Nice.
I always loved
WCW
Lash.
legend.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, no, me and Jeff definitely stay in touch every now and then. And he's been great. Just teaming with him was really just surreal. I mean, it
What
was,
did he say to you, by the way, like wearing his outfit from the 90s?
so I
I don't
surprised
know
him with
what to
that.
call it.
I didn't tell him. So I didn't tell him. And then I sent him the picture, and he just got a kick out of it. Like I thank for Global Wrestling Wear, who were able to get that to me within a week, because
Yeah.
I didn't find out I was going to be teaming with Jeff until like probably 9 days prior to the show.
Oh,
And
cool.
so I was like, I can either, just wear my regular gear, and that's fine and all, or I can, take a page out of like Cardona's playbook, Matt Cardona, who says, for moments, you got to, play it up, even if it costs you some money. And it did. It wasn't cheap, but I got it. The guys at Global Wrestling were, thank God, they're big fans of Jeff Jarrett and have actually made some of Jeff's stuff before.
Oh, sweet.
And they were able to get it to me quickly. And Jeff got a huge kick out of it. And that was the whole thing. I was like, I gotta be double B, double B Ben Bishop.
It looks wicked, mate, honestly.
No, it was such a cool experience, man. And doing the strut, doing the stroke, all that stuff. It was definitely definitely will go down in history of my career as one of the top moments.
I'm glad it's one of the highlights for you, honestly. Just in the 90s for me, one of my first wrestlers, like, even as a heel, I loved him so
Oh,
much.
he was the first person I really hated, like in WCW. It was like when I watched in WWF, I hated Triple H, and in
Yeah.
WCW, I hated Jeff Jarrett, and for
But
good
he was doing
reasons.
his job.
I hated.
That
He
was
was doing
it.
his job. Yeah, they was a top heel, and so he was. Everyone gives him shit for. I love WCW 2000. I don't care what people say. I loved the slap nuts chosen one Jeff Jarrett gimmick.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of my. He's one of my favorite heels of all time.
Whacking the guitar over Gary Coleman
That was
and
the best.
the
Oh yeah.
Beetlejuice guy, the one from the Howard Stern show, whatever his name is, the little
Which
guy.
one?
Um,
Oh yeah. Beetlejuice.
that's the one. Yeah.
Beetlejuice, and then you had the Harris twins behind him. It was a great. They looked great. The
Yeah.
presentation of Jeff was great.
Nah, he was certainly the chosen one. What have been some of your personal favorite videos, Ben?
The ones I've made.
Yeah.
I mean, looking like really, obviously, my personal favorite was the one watching the match with my wife on the couch. I thought that was one of my favorite ones. The one that did 1 million, I didn't think that would ever do 1 million. The
Yeah.
one of me coming home with the belt, and she's like, "Yeah, we'll
Yeah, that was...
get to work."
Some
I just
people
do
take
that-
that seriously, by the way. That one.
I know a lot of people did. It's like, what was she been doing all weekend? I'm like, oh Jesus, buddy, come on, like, Christ, man. She should be the one doing the work. I'm like, okay, with the alpha male bullshit. Like,
Yeah,
relax, dude. Like, chill. Like, okay. No, dude. Like, I love the the other one everyone took serious was like the week after I did Rampage.
Yeah.
And I was at an indie show in Chicago, and I walked in, and I wrote on the caption like, what did I write? When an independent wrestler loses in 1 minute and 30 seconds one time on television. Like, so you would have thought people thought it was a joke, but
Yeah.
man, there was one guy who just was like, who the you think you are, like saying
My
like you think you're a big shot now. I'm like,
Yeah.
I clearly don't if you read the caption. Like, and that one was fun,
Yeah.
and I love the ones where people can get involved with, because what's really cool, GB, is that now people like will either send me ideas, which is awesome. People are like, hey, have you done one on this? It's like, oh, cool. And sometimes I'll do them, sometimes I won't. And I tell people that, like, it's not, I'll if I can make it humorous, or then I'll do it. If I'm like, I can't figure out how to make this funny to me, at least, I won't do it. And I love going to shows now, and I'll ask, like when I first started doing it, I'd ask people, hey, you want to make a video? And they were kind of wary about it. And now I'll do it, and people do it. Yeah, no, I get it, because you're like, oh, heat, like whatever. But now people will. Like, I got to do a cool one with Brad Baylor, Ricky Smokes, and Gal, all WWE ID guys, and that was a lot of fun. And they played it off. They played it off perfect. Because I don't like to take people's time, so I like to do things in one or two takes at the absolute most.
Yeah.
Because people are busy during shows. I don't want to be like, do this, say this, do this. So I just tell them kind of a general blueprint, and I just run with it. So doing one with them was great. The one last weekend was fun with Alexis Littlefoot and Kelsey Reagan. That was really cool. I did one with Paul Walter Hauser, making the video with him. And he was a good sport about it. And I really enjoyed that. So those are the ones that I really like. I like
AJ Francis, Kendrick Lamar
the
one.
one with, oh yeah. The one with, yep. The one with Kendrick. Yep. That one too. That was last weekend. So, that's really fun when I get to make videos with other people and collaborate. I've made 3 with Jack Vaughn. And that have all been fun to do with him. And I know he's definitely a hell of a controversial figure. I'm always playing catch up to him.
I think some of his videos are fucking great. But
here's the thing. Here's the thing with Jack, and I tell people this all the time. People get so mad. I'm like, Jack is playing that shitty vet character. That's what Jack's doing. So he's doing it. It's tongue in cheek. So like and I'm trying not to kill Jack's gimmick because it's working for him, but like that's it. Like, it's like people don't like him, but what he's doing is making fun of the people that make fun of that stuff. But people think that Jack is like trying to be some bitter dickhead, but whatever. I mean, whatever. If it works for him, it works for him. Jack's a great guy. Jack is really, because like first time I met Jack, right? I met him at Squared Circle Expo last year, almost a year to the date. So it was in March of last year. And I was already doing some of these videos, and Jack's already was, for years has already been doing this stuff. And in wrestling, there's people have heat with each other, whether it's like, big man heat is famous, where 2 big guys supposedly aren't supposed to like each other. Stupid, insecure bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Or anybody that does like similar gimmicks or whatever. So I saw Jack, and I'm like, I wonder how he's going to act. Is he going to be like, screw this guy? Like, what is he trying to steal my stuff? Couldn't have been cooler. He's like, dude, I love your stuff. And I asked him, like, would you want to do a video? And he's like, of course. Absolutely. So I had the idea of the one we did originally, and nothing but cool. He's an awesome guy. He really is. I'll see him actually at Squared Circle Expo next month as well. I just saw him recently in Pittsburgh at a show. So he gets a real bad rep for no reason. He's a good dude. So I support and endorse Jack Vaughn.
People just need to fucking chill, honestly. Just the way they
bro, look what we're doing. Like, look at this. It's like pro wrestling silly to begin with, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it is. Like, I mean, again, take your art serious, take your training serious, take that serious. Make sure you don't hurt anybody. Like, you don't half-ass training, don't do any of that. But like, if you take yourself too serious, like, you're gonna have a horrible time. Like, you're just gonna have a bad time, because this sport, whatever you want to call it, sport, art form, I don't care what you call it, this will chew you up and spit you out. Like anything in entertainment. It's entertainment at the end of the day, because it's subjective. There's no stats. There's no objective way to really say someone's good. I can have somebody tell me I'm awesome, and then another person can tell me I suck. I've had two veterans of, I would say, one a little bit higher than the other, but pretty equal status, give me opposite advice, total opposite advice, right? Of like, you got to do more in the ring, you got to do less in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Literally 2 weeks apart. I've had that. I had those conversations. So this is such a subjective thing. And if you take yourself too serious and all you do is like either, for lack of a better term, all you're doing is just thinking like, oh, I got to be the man. I got to do this. I got to be buttoned up. I got to be like this. I got can't joke around. Can't, can't post videos. Can't do the, if that's how you like think and you're just not having fun with it, it's going to be the most miserable shit that you ever do.
That can't be healthy in the mind.
No, it's not. And that's where I was getting at. Like before I started doing this, like these videos, I was getting to the point where it was becoming unhealthy, where I'm just like, I hate this. And I'm showing up to shows that I'm like, this is like, where is this going? Because I thought, because this is my problem, I'm like, whatever, I'm damn near 7 feet tall. I'm going to get signed. Someone's going to sign me. I'm 7 feet tall. I'm in good enough shape. I'm aesthetically pleasing. Like someone's going to sign me. Right. And it wasn't happening. So I'm like, I got to change something. I got to do something else. I just became complacent, thinking like, people kept telling me, oh, you'll be signed in a year. You'll be signed in 2 years. You'll be signed. Don't worry, dude. You're good. Just be patient. And I'm like, well, hell, it ain't happening. So I got to do something. I got to do something different. And I was just like, you know what? It was cathartic and therapeutic to me to start making these videos.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, yeah, because I'm just like, I'm going to make fun. I'm going to pop myself. I'm going to have fun.
You've got nothing to lose anyway.
I have to lose. Like, I wasn't signed anyway, so I'm like, what am I going to lose? So, and if it got me heat and it got me kicked out of wrestling, I was already thinking about calling it quits at that point, So I was like, all right, well, if I don't get any bookings and people get mad at me, then hey, so be it. Wave my hand of it. It's over. But it didn't. It did the opposite, and it's really helped.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time for What Do You Call It? Podcast.